Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're going to take a look at all buffed and added moves for the new season of the Go Battle League. I already recorded this video and I messed up the recording, so now I can do it again. But yeah, if you appreciate those type of videos, feel free to leave a like and subscribe if you have not already. We're getting closer to the 50-50 split of people that are subscribed and for the people that are non-subscribed. It is free, so feel free to do it and we can move alright into the first move update. And this is going to be Psywave. Psywave got added as a new move, as a new fast move, and honestly, I don't understand Niantic. It just does not really make any sense at all. We're going to have here 3 damage, 2 energy, 1 turn fast move. If you don't know what this is going to be as a clone, this is going to be a cut clone. You don't know what cut is? Cut is a fast move that nobody ever uses because it's a horrific fast move. It is one of the worst fast moves possible, so Psywave is something to avoid. It is so bad. But again, also, what I have to say, the new season hasn't started yet, so Niantic still has the option to do changes, so please Niantic, put it to 4 energy. 4 energy is actually balanced, which is kind of wild, because it would be one of the strongest casters in the game with that, but the Pokemon that got it, which you can see on the screen as well, Malamar is the best of them all in general, and even with 4 energy, it's going to not make this Pokemon too overpowered, but meta, so if Niantic is watching this, please, the season has not started yet, feel free to just go ahead and go into your code, go from the 2 energy to 4 energy, would help us all, would help the meta, would be interesting, would make this Pokemon interesting. Please? Let's move on. So, now we can also talk to Niantic again here, because we have Metal Sound. Metal Sound, what I expected would have been a Mudshot clone with 3 damage, which he knew prior. We now know from the code that it's 8 energy. Which does not make any sense at all. Like, why do you do this? Why do you not make it a Mudshot clone? No, it is a worse Mudshot clone in terms of energy generation with 1 energy less per 2 turns. And you could also compare it to something like, I think, Powder Snow. I think Powder Snow is 5 damage. I think it's 5 damage. I think Shadow Claw is 6 damage. Oh no, is Shadow Claw 7 damage? I don't know. Maybe even it's like 6 damage or whatever. But definitely like a way worse damaging Powder Snow / Shadow Claw, which is great, isn't it? Like, it's literally just a horrific move again. It's not something that you really want to use. Like, Mudshot is not even overpowered. Yes, it's going to generate a lot of energy or whatever, but Mudshot is not overpowered. It's still a very normal, neutral move. Like, I would most likely put it into the B tier or something, or like A tier or whatever, but like, it's not an S tier move for sure. And now, the Steel typing is a pretty bad offensive typing. Like, it's literally like so many resistances, especially in a meta where basically everything is water type. Everything resists steel, and so making this even worse does not make any sense at all. So Niantic, either make this a Powder Snow clone or make this a Mudshot clone. Both of them I'm fine with. This is really, really bad. And we can see as well the Pokemon on the screen, even Bronzong, which I was like thinking mostly the Pokemon that would benefit the most from Metal Sound. No. It does not. It's going to be worse with Metal Sound. The only Pokemon that benefits from it is Wormadam. Wormadam is going to have the non-stab confusion compared to the stab confusion on Bronzong. And so this Pokemon gains a little bit of average rating, but it's not going to be great. Moving on, Voltickle. For whatever reason, Niantic did this one here as well. We're going to have 90 damage and 50 energy based on the code right now with a 1 defense drop on yourself. Yeah, Voltickle in the main series games is the exact same as a Wild Charge as far as I know, plus 30 damage. Why do you have here a Wild Charge minus 10 damage, plus 5 energy, but minus 1 death drop? It doesn't make sense. Like, you literally have a worse Wild Charge. And you know what's the worst as well? Pikachu learns Wild Charge. And so you basically could just go for Wild Charge, which is a better move than Voltickle. Voltickle just looks funny most likely, but it is just a really bad move. I don't know why Niantic did this. It honestly just does not make any sense at all. Let's move on to the next one. This one is actually a good move, finally. We have Nature's Madness. Based on the current stats in the code, it's 80 damage and 50 energy. We're going to have a -1 defense drop, which I don't know if it's actually in the code yet, but Niantic announced it. But if Niantic announced on their Twitter or whatever, it might be also wrong, so we don't really know about it yet. But 80 damage, 50 energy, and -1 defense drop seems really, really decent, and we're going to take a look at all of the ones now as well. Only announced right now, by the way, is the Tapu Lele and the Tapu Koko, but most likely the other one's going to follow in the next month. So, Tapu Lele, Astonish is actually better for the Master League usually over the Confusion, but you can also use Confusion, going to gain a little bit of average rating. would really like to have a better fast move, not gonna lie. Something like Fairy Wind, something like, I don't know if it learns Psycho Cut, but like something like this along the way. I'm not Psywave for sure, not with the current stats of it. But yeah, basically this Pokemon would definitely need a better fast move to be really solid, but definitely going to be a little bit of an increase compared to Moonblast. Tapu Koko, going to have Dazzling Gleam right now, really bad move, and so this is going to benefit quite a bit, getting an average rating of, yeah, plus 70 basically here. And the cool thing as well, you might don't even want to run Thunderbolt on this Pokemon anymore, because Thunderbolt before was the cheapest move to get to. Now I would maybe even recommend to go, I think it learns Thunder, and Thunder is going to do more damage and has a little bit more of a, yeah, I don't know, like it's going to be a little bit better for you, I think, because Nature's Madness is going to be the move that you're going to spam most of the time anyway, so going to be a little bit of an interesting Pokemon here for sure. But now we're going to take a look at the actual interesting ones here, which is going to be the next one, Tapu Bulu. Tapu Bulu learns Bullet Seed, generating energy quite fast, doesn't really do too much damage though. Grass Knot, very solid move, 90 damage and 50 energy, but Dazzling Gleam again kinda lets it down, but not anymore, as Nature's Madness would make this Pokemon even better, like plus 20 something average rating, not really raining any extra matchups, but it's going to actually win some extra matchup in other kind of scenarios. You can actually now, with Nature's Madness, win against the Dialga in the 2-shield scenario, because you're going to drop the defense the entire time. You can 2-shot them with Nature's Madness, and you're going to outspeed them because it's going to be cheaper than Dazzling Gleam. And so this would be a huge upgrade for this Pokemon. Also, of course, the Palkia and whatever is going to not really appreciate this one as well, going to be able to resist all the moves other than Fire Blast from Palkia on Tapu Bulu, making this Pokemon actually a Pokemon that I think going to have a lot of impact in the Go Battle League, Master League as soon as yeah, this Pokemon drops with a new move. I have already a Hundo build actually, which I hope I can just elite TM as soon as it comes out, but yeah, we're gonna take a look at this Pokemon then as well. But let's move on to the final Tapu. Final Tapu, of course, is going to be Tapu Fini. Going to take a look here at the Ultra League. You can also take a look at this in the Great League if you would want to, but Ultra League is where it's basically at usually. Going to be a definitely great upgrade for this Pokemon. Actually, you lose some matchups here, which might be because Moonblast does a little bit more total damage, but also, yeah, I don't know really, maybe that's the case, most likely it's the case, but I think in general, it's just going to be better because Water Gun does a pretty much decent amount of damage as well, and you're just going to increase the Water Gun damage with Nature's Madness. Is going to be kind of crazy, so Tapu Fini is most likely going to be even stronger as it was before, which is kind of wild because the thing is already kind of busted. Moving on, we're going to have Cross Chop next. Cross Chop got a plus 5 damage increase. Not a lot of Pokemon can really learn it. The Machamp line can learn it. I think it's kind of that signature move that then kind of got onto other Pokemon later on. The Obstacle definitely benefits from it. The Primeape maybe benefits from it. You usually want to run Night Slash and Ice Punch on this Pokemon though. So yeah, really depends, but definitely going to be really cool. I think this is going to be a great change. I like this change a lot. And Machamp, honestly, is going to be something that you have to take a look at for the new season, because Pokemon actually going to be really, really solid. Counter Cross Drop Rock Slide is going to be amazing as coverage. And also, as you can see here, average rating increase of 20 plus 2 more wins. And you see already, like, a lot of the Pokemon that are currently in the meta going to lose against Machamp. You're really fast with this Pokemon. Can't wait to try this one out. I think it's going to be one of the most underrated Pokemon to play, and I think it's going to be a great Pokemon to run as well. You could even argue for going for Payback over Rock Slide. I don't really see the point of Rock Slide in the current meta, I have to say. Yes, you can hit something like a Zoomer for neutral damage with that, I guess. But I feel like Payback has a lot of potential, maybe even to hit something like an Annihilate. So Payback maybe on Machamp has some play for the new meta, but we have to take a look at this eventually. Moving on. Aqua Tail. Aqua Tail got the same treatment, got from 50 damage to 55 damage with 35 energy. A lot of Pokemon can actually learn this move, and honestly I forgot that Palkia learns this move as well. Goodra going to benefit quite a bit from it. We're going to have here also Gyarados, which is going to definitely benefit from it. Dragonair, already a very solid Pokemon for the Great League, one of the best ones honestly, and now it's going to be even better because you're going to do more damage against something like a Steel type as well. And let's take a look here at what we can do with this. We're going to have the Palkia with the moveset of Aqua Tail Spatial Rent. Palkia Origin, already the best Pokemon, and we're gonna see here slight increase, not crazy, but honestly this Pokemon is going to be so insane for the new season. It's going to be everywhere in the Master League. Definitely try to maybe counter this Pokemon. There are some Pokemon that counter it, like Tapu Bulu for example, but yeah, going to be an interesting Pokemon for sure. But let's move right on to the next one. We're going to have next one, the Sand Attack. Sand Attack is going to get added to a lot of ground type Pokemon, which is going to be definitely interesting. It is going to do basically the exact same as Fury-Cutter, and Fury-Cutter is kind of underrated, to be fair. Fury-Cutter is just pretty like bad in general because it's a bug type move, and bug types are pretty bad. And with Sand Attack, I think it's actually going to be a cool move to have. 2 damage is not really a lot, but it's going to be better than the damage output from Mudshot, for example. But you're going to basically do 1 less energy than Mudshot in 2 turns, which is a little bit annoying. So you basically have a little bit more damage, but a little bit less energy than Mudshot with this fast move, and so it's kind of comparable to Mudshot as well. And it's going to be great actually for a lot of the Pokemon. Most of them going to benefit quite a bit from it, so I can't wait to try this one out as well. Let's take a look at her Powder here as well real quick. This Pokemon is going to run usually Fire Fang, but now with Sand Attack you gain quite a lot of average rating with it, and so it's definitely going to be a Pokemon to look forward to. Forgot to put my light on so great that I just realized it midway through the video. Again, I recorded this video already prior and I messed up the recording. Now I messed up again, but it is what it is. But yeah, we're going to have now the Brick Break. Going to have guaranteed drop of the defense, which is of course not really crazy. I mean, it's going to be kind of crazy, but like you're going to have +5 energy that you need to get there, which is going to be a little bit annoying. I guess in hindsight, I don't know if the energy like buff there was needed for it. I think it's going to be a very, very slight upgrade to a lot of Pokemon here. Don't think that Vigoroth still wants to run it. Most Pokemon that really want to run it is going to be Go-Goat as well as the Hakomo. But yeah, like this Pokemon is going to get a little bit of a rating increase. Especially you kind of get more wins, which is kind of interesting here. But it could be also just because the meta shifted a little bit on the right side here. Because on the right side here for those Pokemon is going to be already the new meta that they're going to have to play against. And so yeah, maybe the new meta is just a little bit better for Hakomo. But Brick Break is going to be very interesting, especially in the 2-shield scenario. Dropping the opponent's defense plus Stab Dragon Tail is going to be very, very powerful. So going to be interesting. I think this Pokemon has a lot of potential, but let's move on right into the next change. Second to last one for today, we're going to have the Shadowbone change. 80 damage is going to basically was 75 damage prior. So yeah, basically you get +5 damage on Shadowbone. And interestingly enough, if we're going to take a look on how this is going to change, we're going to see as well that it does actually do worse, which is mainly because of the meta shift. We see here the same amount of wins, but a little bit of less average rating. Now in the meta, Pokemon like Feraligatr appeared, or something like a Goodra appeared, which are going to be losses for this Pokemon. So basically the meta shifted more against this Pokemon, and so that's why the average rating dropped down. It's going to be a little bit better in general, because Shadowbone does a little bit more damage, of course, then, but yeah, the meta is not going to be the greatest to it. I would not really want to run currently Fire-type Pokemon in the Go Battle League, other than maybe Talonflame or Charizard, because of the flying typing, but it's going to be a tough one for Fire-type right now, because there are so many Water-type Pokemon. Just if you take a look on the right side, we have the Swampert, the Lanturn, the Mantine, the Feraligatr, the Azumarill. We have, I guess, the Goodra's coverage for Water type. We have Whiscash, we have Pelipper, we have so many Water type Pokemon right now. It is not really worth it to run Fire type Pokemon. Let's move on to the final change, which is going to be Water Pulse. That's currently what PvPoke has in their system. I didn't really want to change it to what I actually predict. I actually predict that it's going to be 50 energy, but it might be 55 as well. I guess 55 is a little bit more, yeah, a lowballing here, because we're gonna see as well, basically that's the minimum that's going to be. It's got also added from 70 damage to 80 damage, but mainly the Pokemon that I'm mostly looking forward to for this change is going to be the Celio. Celio is going to have a definitely great matchup with this one, because we have Aurora Beam before. Aurora Beam is a pretty bad move to play, and so I would imagine that Celio are going to benefit quite a bit from this, as this is going to be always going to be the better move to go for. And Celio has great bulk, has great stats, going to be a very interesting Pokemon to take forward here as well. I think it's going to be a Pokemon that we might see even in like play Pokemon tournaments if Water Pulse goes to 50 energy, but we have to take a look at this one then eventually. But I think Celio is something to look forward to, definitely a little bit of an underrated Pokemon as well. But that's going to be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to leave a like, and I'll see you then. Bye bye.